Welcome in, everyone. Ty Bartell here with another Coach's Corner, and this time we go into Newton Falls as we are joined by Coach Chad Rankin of the Newton Falls Tigers. And Coach, I mean, with the weather warming up right now, you got to start feeling baseball's in the air right now, and we're closer than ever before.
Right, we're excited. We've got to go on the field the last 2 days, so it's been awesome. We got a scrimmage scheduled for tonight. Hopefully the rain holds off. So yeah, I mean everybody's excited. We're feeling good.
Talking about those scrimmages and just getting a chance to kind of look at the team this year going into this upcoming season, what we like to always do is start off with a sort of meet the team segment. So I want you to give a chance, I want to give you the chance rather to shout out some of those seniors and some of those other returning players that you expect to be big leadership roles this year, as well as some younger players that you think might turn some heads this year and you're really excited about.
Right, so we got two seniors coming back. Nick Rapsack, who's been a starter for us for a few years. He'll be starting center field. We've also got Jordan Dowling, who will be starting shortstop. He was an all-league player last year. Those were only two seniors this year. We lost 7 of them last year, so we're going to be young this year. Our junior class is fairly big. We got 6, 7 juniors. A couple of those guys standing out. First would have to be Gino Lazzari. He tore his ACL 2 years ago, wasn't able to play last year. We believe, a lot of coaches believe he's a strong D1 college prospect. So we got that going for us. Holden Hansel's returning for us. Played catcher for us a lot last year, but he'll be playing first base this year. So those two guys will stand out. We got 3 incoming freshmen, Cameron Huff, Trevor Rusko, Ethan Powell, and I expect all 3 of those young guys to either be starting or getting quite a bit of playing time.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the fact that, yeah, you talked about the 7 seniors lost too, and that was something I was going to bring up too, because as most coaches will say about the sport, baseball is fickle too, and it can play with your emotions. But in that same breath too, what we've seen too is it also offers opportunity for tremendous growth, especially that sophomore to junior year. What can you say about your incoming juniors this season and the work they put in from off season and going into this season, and trying to take that next step in being leaders as they are now going into their
Right.
upperclassmen season?
Yeah. So we've kind of implemented a whole new off-season program this year. We've new pitching program, new batting program. These juniors have been leading the forefront, especially the guys that weren't playing basketball. You know, they've made sure our guys are in the weight room, kind of doing off-season workouts. And like I said, I expect our two big juniors, Gino Lazzari and Holden Hansel, to kind of lead the pack and get everyone in shape moving forward.
I've gotten a chance to get out to some scrimmages here before with Newton Falls, and even with the scrimmages, I mean, you guys get some decent crowds on hand too, some great support throughout all of that. And I mean, that it's nice to see for all sports there with Newton Falls. What does it mean to you as a coach to kind of see that the community gets behind this team, gets out there and supports all sports, not just your mainstream ones, your football, your basketball? It seems like a community that really just gets out there and supports.
Yeah, it's awesome. We have a very good youth program in town, and we're lucky enough right now to be playing at our city park. So even families, adults who don't have kids who are currently on our team, they see us playing a game, and we're up at the city park, and they're just kind of hanging out, watching what's going on, and it's quite a cool, awesome atmosphere that we got going on up there. We do have plans in the future right now to move a new turf field, baseball field on school property. So we'll be interested to see, how that kind of changes the dynamics of everything.
I hear those turf fields too working out tremendously too, and with the rain that comes around this area too, it certainly helps eliminate those rainouts. Speaking of rainouts and just going into that schedule a little bit, talk to me about competing in this tough MVAC conference too on that gray side. It seems like pitching, and more pitching is the story over there. What's it going to kind of take for you guys to get a piece of that conference crown this year? Obviously losing some senior leadership, but hey, we know it's not out of the realm of possibility in this sport.
Right. So, I think you nailed it there. Pitching is pretty much everything that goes on in high school baseball. If you got 1 or 2 stud pitchers, you can go a long way, even if you're deficient in other areas. Teams, Champions always solid. LeBray is always solid. Garrettsville, I think they got something crazy, like 9 or 10 seniors this year. And, they got a lot coming back. They made a deep run in the tournament last year. So I think, those are going to be the teams to look out for. But like I said, we got some young guys, and I think, few pitchers who I think are going to make some noise this year. And we're hoping, this year we might surprise some people and hopefully catapult us into something big next year.
Obviously, yeah, the conference schedule is great too. It adds that little extra oomph to the regular season, and that is able to set goals for some of these younger guys. But the non-conference game is really where you get a chance to kind of sharpen those teeth for the tournament and get a chance on what you're kind of see. What's some games non-conference wise that you're really excited for this team to kind of face off and get their feet wet against this season?
First of all, I'd have to say, we play JFK, State Champions last year. They got a lot coming back. They had a lot of young players last year, so we're excited to, test them, see what we're made of at that point. We've also got some, other fun games. We play Matthews at Eastwood Field under the lights. And then the very last game of the season, we're taking on Bristol, and that'll be at Scene Field 1 under the lights as well. So I think those two games will be something special to watch as well.
Talking about Newton Falls baseball as a whole, too, if you were to put into words what the culture is of Tigers baseball and what it kind of means to wear that Tigers logo on your chest and wear it proudly, what at the end of the day would you say it means to be a Tiger for Newton Falls?
Well, I think our reputation, not just baseball, basketball, football, whatever it may be, is that you're going to get the best out of us. We're not going to roll over and quit. We're not going to roll over and die. Whether we're the underdogs or not, you're going to get the best for us. We're going to keep fighting. If it's the 6th inning and we're down by 12 runs, we're going to keep battling and keep fighting you all the way through.
You keep on returning and you keep on developing this team through the up years, the down years, if you could even call those that in Newton Falls. What kind of is bringing you back year to year, Coach? And what kind of gives you the love for this sport and the love to just keep back and keep coaching this group of kids and this community of kids?
Well, I think it helps that, I'm an alumni of Newton Falls. I coached basketball here for years. I watched a lot of these kids grow up through the years. And I think just watching them get excited about things, and, we've got a lot of goals this year for, league championships, district championships, and that's something we don't have a lot of in baseball at this school. We're pushing huge for this culture change to, drive baseball to the forefront here.
Speaking of which, too, what would Coach Rankin tell player Chad Rankin then, if you had a chance to kind of go back and coach yourself with all the experience you have now?
I wouldn't know where to start with that question. You don't realize how fast things are going to go, and coach is telling you to do little things like lifting, conditioning, and you're like, when you're 16, 17, you don't really know how important those things are. And I tell my guys all the time, you don't know what's going to happen, day to day. And, the next game you play could very well be your last game. So play every game like it's your last is a big thing we preach around here.
And key word in that, too, is the we part, Coach. As we know all the head coaches get the limelight, and we love doing these interviews with you guys, too. But the assistants and all the other big influential names and programs around the area, we feel like don't get enough attention. So I want to give you that opportunity to shout out other big names in that Newton Falls program, whether that be your assistants or some people that run the youth program who really helps out with this Tigers baseball in Newton Falls.
Right. So my first assistant coach, Brendan Jones, he's a teacher here at the school, former player at Lakeview, and he's played Double-A ball over the summer. We've got Tom Hansel, who former alumni here, alumni at Kent State, was a pitcher at Kent State, and he's been great, helping so much with so many things. And shout out a couple youth guys, Brent Powell, who son is now in high school, but he helped develop that youth league, so he's on my staff now. And also I would say John Rusko does a great job with our youth league, kind of rebuilding it. There was a few years where our youth league kind of fell downhill, and he came in and kind of picked it right back up. And, over the years, we've seen an increase in more and more kids joining our youth leagues.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to shout out your first game, your first home game, and when the Tigers faithful can get out there and see it. I'm sure Newton Falls community already keeps up with it, but if there's anyone in that community living under a rock, where can they catch you for your first home game, Coach?
So our first home game will be March 31st. It'll be home against Crestview.
So a nice little conference game to get their feet wet too inside that MVAC gray. That's going to be a Thursday game, again, March 31st. Catch Newton Falls taking on Crestview at Newton Falls. Coach Rankin will be there. Tigers will be there. And it'll be a fun time. Opening season for baseball just weeks away. Coach Rankin and the Newton Falls Tigers, thank you so much for your time. And we'll be looking forward to covering you all season and talking to you again real soon.
All right. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.